Hello? Anybody there? Anybody there? Hello, anybody there?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. That's 4:32. Anybody there?
It's me, Mario.
I'm Mr. Mario. Mr. Mario. Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, where's Ernie?
The rabbi doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Ernie. Hello.
Hello.
Me.
We're on Kuf Ches 108. Ton Rabbanon Ezeu Miyun. Amra Efshi B'Ploni Bali. She says, I don't want my husband Chaim Yankel. Or Efshi B'Kiddushin Shekidshuni Imi Vachi. I don't want the Kiddushin that my mother brothers accepted. Yesra Kenam Rav Yudah Afilu Yosheves Ba'Piryom. Even if she's sitting in a chariot, and she's going from her father's house to her husband's house, I don't want my husband, she's entertaining guests in her husband's house. And she's giving them wine to drink. This is too much for me. I don't want my husband. If her husband sent the wife to the storekeeper to pick something up that belongs to him, any statement like that, even in these situations where she's expressing displeasure at whatever work she's doing, is considered miyun. Rav Chanina ben Antig the sermon called Tinoikes. That is Ktana who cannot watch her Kiddushin, it's Loi Klum. Alright, I'm Shmuel Aloch Rav Chanina ben Antig. The Aloch is like him. Tana Ktana Shloi Miyana. A Ktana that didn't do Miyun, and she married a second guy. That's, there's no greater Miyun than that. She doesn't have to do Miyun and get married. Getting married is a Miyun. What if she accepted Kiddushin while she's married? If she accepts Kiddushin from another man, that's a miyun. Do the Rabbanon argue? Do they argue only in cases where she had only been married through Kiddushin or even with Nisuin? Is the halacha like Rabbi Yehuda or not? Or is the halacha like him that the miyun works no matter whether she's fully married with Nisuin or even Kiddushin? So halacha mechlal de pligi. We prove that the Rabbanim were arguing. Is it Nisuin or Kiddushin only? Toshma, the Kalose de Abdin Imrud, the daughter-in-law of Abdin, rebelled against her husband. Shadabe Rav Zugi de Rabbanim Mivdeku. Rebbe sent Chachamim to check her. Amrula hu Nashay, Chazuga Vraichi de Kaasa. The women said to her, look at your husbands, they're coming. They should be your husbands. So she was mine. Now, and it proves my love to Nisi. But no, she wasn't married with Nisuin. However, the Gemara summarizes Allah Rabbi Nisuin to come off. So Aktana Shamar Yev Shiba Ploni Baal. That's, and if a Ketana accepted Kiddushin, or if a mother or brothers had married her off, or even with Nisuin, and she accepted Kiddushin or Nisuin from somebody else, that's the miyun. We pass him like we're even besavers. Lezer Oimer, that the mice of a Ketana doesn't create any kind of familiar relation. I evaluated the sheet as the Chachamim. The only one who makes sense, who's consistent in this issue, is Rabbi Elazar. If she's a bas kohen, she goes from having relations to go into the mikveh to become tor, and then eating truma in her father's house, as if there was no kesher of nisuin at all. That's like it's a mefateh. Tanya Rabbi Elazar Oimer, ein ma'isa ketana klum ve'bal zakai lo b'mtziasa. The nisuin with a ketana has no force. Therefore, the husband does not acquire what she finds or get what she earns. The law about force or the right to annul her nedorim. Ve'ena yorsha doesn't inherit her. Ve'en mitame law doesn't mitame to her funeral. Klal shadav eina kiyish l'chol davar ela shetzricha miyun. To leave, she needs to do a miyun. That's the only thing that has to happen. Rabbi Shomer Bala Zakoy b'mitzvah. So he disagrees. He says this type of ketana, that the mother or brothers married her off, the husband gets what she finds, and b'maisi yadehu v'afars nedereh, with he can be made for her oaths. The yorsha can inherit her. Mitamelot can go to her funeral. Klal shel davar ha'ish l'chol davar. Ela sheyotze b'miyun. This is the halacha. We pass like Rabbi Yeshua. It's considered like mamish nesuim. The only difference is she goes out with miyun. Rabbi Meir div Rabbi Eliezer div Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Eliezer hish Rabbi Dois of Bigtan. Rabbi Yeshua chilek. Rabbi Yeshua is not consistent. Now, Maichi I ishto he. If it's his wife, to boy get. Why does she go with just miyun? And Rabbi Eliezer nami lav ishto he miyun nami lo to boy. If it's not his wife, she didn't do miyun either. But she can't go out with nothing. So Rabbi Eliezer is the one who makes a little sense. The miyun breaks whatever they have. Then Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Oimer, Nahechi domi akva shehi min ha'ish, ve'akva she'ein min ha'ish. Amir Shmuel. Tavu alina say, this Ketana is already married to somebody, and they gave her advice, go marry somebody else. And she says, V'amar machos ploini bali. I don't want to marry somebody else because of my current husband. Her refusal is because she's still viewing herself as this first guy's wife. Now, if she says, machos pnei adam she'enim uganim li, if she says the reason I don't want to marry the other guy that because the people that are being suggested to me are not appropriate for me, Zuya kova she'enim min ha'ish, it's coming from her. Abaye baravin v'avchani baravin damer tavai nosan laget. If the husband gave her a get, Zuya kova she'enim min ha'ish. That makes her look like a full wife, and therefore there's gonna be halachic ramifications. Who asher b'krovei he cannot live with her relatives. He asher b'kroiva, she can't live with his relative, and she's a grusha, pasuk nakuna, even though the nesuin was not a nesuin midaraisa. However, mia nabo, if she did miyun, that's not kova she'enim min ha'ish. Therefore, who muter b'krovei seah? She could marry his relatives. He muters b'kroivav, and she's not a grusha. V'lo pasuk nakuna, she can marry kohen. Now, Ketani lekaman, we already learned before how my NSB who muter b'krovei seah. The muters b'kroivav v'lo pasuk nakuna. Nasan laged who also b'krovei seah v'yasur b'krovei pasuk nakuna. Perish come mefarish and chanami. This price is mefarish what we explained before. Mishnah. Hamima enes beish hu muter b'krovei seah. He can marry her relatives. V'hi muteres b'kroivav. She can marry his relatives. V'lo pasam nakuna. She can marry a kohen. Nasan laget hu asur b'krovei seah v'yasur b'kroivav hu pasam nakuna. Now, nasan laget echzira. He gave her a get, he took her back. And then after he took her back, miyanabo, she did miyun. Benisis lacher, and she then married another man. And that man died or divorced her. Nisram niskarsha. Muteres lachzerlo, very interesting. We ignore the fact that he had originally given her a get. Normally, if you gave someone a get, you're not allowed to take her back if she married somebody else. But here the miyun wiped out the original, so there's nothing left. And therefore he can take her back. Now, after he take her back, miyanabo, she did miyun, and then he took her back. And then Nasan Laget V'Nisas La'achar, she married somebody else in Sarna's Karsha. Asur Lachzor, because here the get came after the miyun. Whatever comes last is what has toikef. And he can't be a Machzer Grusha, so if she married somebody else. Ze'aklal get achar miyun, asur lachzor lo. Miyun achar get, muteres lachzor lo, because the miyun wipes away everything that was present. Hamimaenes be'ish v'nisas lacher. She did miyun, she married somebody else. And then somebody else divorced her v'girsha. And then la'acher, she married a third person. And she did miyun u'miyanabo. And then she got married la'acher, a fourth person v'girsha. She can go back to the husbands that did miyun. If she left the husband through miyun, she can always go back to him. We see from this mission that the miyun sort of is mevatel, the original marriage, and the get, it has no halachic significance. Reminu, hamime'enes be'ish, v'nisas lacher, right? V'girsha, and then la'acher umina bo la'acher v'girsha zeklal kol sheyatza menu beget asher lachzor b'miyun muteres lachzor amo lo asi miyun dechavri what l'gita didei. The get of the other guy didn't come to be mevatel the get of the other guy. In a chanami, says Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel Tavra misha shanazu lo shanazu, two different tanoim. Amar Rav Maikosh v'dilma miyun didei mevatel get didei. Maybe the miyun of one will mevatel the get of the other. Excuse me. His miyun will mevatel his get. But miyun dechavri lo mevatel gita didei. But the miyun of his friend has nothing to do with his get. Umayshta miyun dechavri lo mevatel gita didei. His miyun is not mevatel by his friend's get. Why? I did my catch mizazuk. They're signaling to each other because they were married. And also Meshabish Umaysalei. He's giving her hints, even without speaking. And it's giving her in, go divorce the other guy, or do miyun to the other guy and come back to me. So they made a takana that they can't go back. So miyun didei nami lo mevatel gita didei. So we do say that if his own miyun is mevatel his get, why? Maybe the idea of the we have to be concerned. But she decided to marry him again. So that's not a good svara. One friend and another friend. Me and a bow. She did me and then he took her back. And then that same guy noson laget v'nisas la'acher. He gave her a get and she married somebody else from the Sarman Skarsha Asur Lachzor Lo. Because the last thing he did to her is a get. Time it didn't Sarman Skarsha. But maybe we are medaik only if she became a widow or divorcee. Maybe Hami and a muter Lachzor Lo. So maybe the miyun of person B will be mevatel to get a person A. I've remino amenas beach v'nis lacher v'girsha lacher remino bozek lal kol sheyatzben v'get asur lachzor lo b'miyun muter lo am lo asimin dechav mevatel gita didei. It doesn't work on Baraisa. Yeah. Tavra, Misha Shanazu, Lo Shanazu. Ulo Amar Kagon Shashul Shla Begitten. Because she's been married and divorced and miyun to so many people, Mechzik Gdoila. People forget that she's a Ketana and think that she's a Gdoila. And think that you can walk out of marriages with a miyun. Now, Mantana. Amir Marav Maidach Siv Memenu Bekesav Shasinu. Eitzeinu b'mchir yavo. B'shas hashakana nishbak shaloch hazu. There was a gzeres hashmad. People needed the answer. Areish yotzim rishon beget misheni b'miyun. The first husband, she walked out through get. Second with miyun. Marsha tachzor l'rishon. Can she go back to the first person? So, sachru adam echad barba me'azuz. They paid somebody $400. V'sholos Rabbi Akiva v'Veis who was in prison. Also, can't go back to the first one who gave a get. You're machzor grushoso. They asked Rabbi Yehuda ben Beser ben Nitzivim v'Osa. He also prohibited. Amar Shmuel Rabbi Yossi lezulo etzrachnu. Lisser koris itarta. You're allowing a woman who's an Eish through get out of miyun, a lava basar grusha, so certainly we should say it's mutter through miyun. Ram kach shalu, harayaisa eishes achi imo she shnialo. He was married to an erva, a shnia erva, the wife of his mother's brother. Unasachiv me'aviv v'meis. And she married the brother, his brother from his same father, and died. Masha Tamoy Ashta. Can she do me and v'takrinu nesuin kamoy? Can be oiker the original nesuin, and maybe the tzara is as if could be miyabe. Do we say yesh min lachar misa b'makom mitzvah lo? Do we say after death, where there's a mitzvah of yibum, will miyun work? He prohibited. And it's Rabbi Yisrael ben Tzim v'asar. Amar Rabbi Yisrael Barashi u'moed Rav shumuteres lachav shozeh shenesra lav. She's permitted to the brother. Pshita. Who needed my kesem b'zaz gritzoysa? We're only concerned about the signaling with a husband. The husband doesn't. The brother doesn't know signaling. Maybe we'll make a gzeira. Kamash one no. Just like he's prohibited to marry her, the other brothers too. So the halacha is, the man divorced the ketana. She married somebody else, and she did miyun with somebody else. She can't go back to the first guy. Same thing if she did miyun with her husband, and he took her back, and he divorced her. Then he married somebody else and did miyun. She can't go back. If the last separation between husband and wife is a get, can't go back, as long as she married somebody else. Now, a ketana that's married, if you're married to a shni and he dies, and they fall to yibum, we don't say do miyun and get rid of the problematic shniya erva to allow the tzor to be miyabim. Even the tzor gets chlitza. And just like a ketana that the Baal gave get, it's usher for the brothers and other relatives to live with her, as if you married her. Okay. We'll deal with the sugi of Magar Shishto. Okay, tomorrow we're learning in Shul 635.
6:35.
635. That's what it says in the Kolena.
Okay. Everybody have a good Shabbos.
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 Shabbos.